All right, we are here. Welcome once again to the North American Mobile Legends Boosted podcast. I'll be your host today, Trex. This is Private, and this is G. I'm pointing the wrong ways right now. How are you doing today, Private?
I am doing well, just chilling right now. It's been a while since we had the time to get another boosted out. It's been an exciting time in North America so far.
It's definitely been a while, and I'm like, all I've had is people asking and saying things like, "When's the next one coming?" Da 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 da, and I'm like, "Oh, we're working on it." G, how are you feeling, man?
No, I'm feeling good, like it's great to see you guys. We all took kind of like a mental break, I would say, and casually rested, but now we're back and I feel like we're stronger.
For sure. It has been a crazy month though, right? Like it's been so NACT's been insane, as everybody probably knows. But I honestly feel like the three of us haven't really talked that much the past month. Like I feel like we haven't really like talked about NACT and all the games that have happened and stuff. So something I was excited to talk about. Um something a quick topic I thought just to kind of get things started. Any teams that like stood out, like who's your guys' star team right now? Like who's the team, and the Valley doesn't count because we all know they're gods, but like what other team has like really stood out to
Eh,
you, you know?
I
You can
mean,
go first, Aka.
yeah, so I would say, to be honest, I felt like a lot of the teams had their ups and downs, and a lot of teams actually like bounced around and came back. I want to say like the biggest thing that I seen was like the Simpsons. Like they made it pretty far. I liked how they were doing, and I hope that now with them being in the grand finals, that we'll might see a battle of a lifetime. We didn't get to see them in the last NACT, and I felt like they made it to the top eight, and now they're luckily going to the grand finals.
Definitely excited for the
Yeah,
Simpsons.
yeah, it's been. I was gonna say there was another team I was gonna say, but we'll hold that conversation for later because it became unfortunate. But yeah, my answer is gonna be along the lines of the Simpsons too, who have done like an amazing job thus far, especially losing early, going to the bottom bracket, but absolutely demolishing people in the bottom bracket and kind of coming back. Like I'm not gonna lie, initially I was very hard. I was very kind of stone cold about the whole issue before that got them
Mm-hmm.
disqualified from the last NACT, or
We
not
know.
just disqualified but banned. And I was like, I was kind of I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bitter about it, like because I take a lot of the stuff in NA pretty seriously, but they really have come back and they've been professional, inside outside. They've kind of kept their nose clean, and not just that, but they've had an immense season thus far, which has been quite amazing, and
and
probably more to come here during when the finals come out.
Yeah,
and the
just
and the biggest thing is that they took out Ackerman.
Yeah,
that is huge. Like that game, right? That series right there had me lit, like
Dude.
totally lit. I was gonna also probably say The Simpsons, but I don't want to bandwagon at this point. But fun fact: during the beginning of this NAC tier, right when we got around top 16 or top 8, every time I would bring in The Simpsons, Private would just go, yeah. But I'm glad they finally won you over. Yeah, The Simpsons have definitely done amazing. Like, not, and I've talked about it before in like the streams recently and stuff. Like, I just feel like from the beginning or like from 6 months ago to now, probably like if I had to pick any team in NA that has like evolved the most and gotten like better, like gone from like, when we did our tier list, what, like 3 or 4 months ago, Private, they were like C tier, like they were like low
Mhm.
tier, like possibly even lower than that. Like they were like bottom of the
Mm.
top 8. Like if I took the top 10 teams, I put them closer to the bottom, and now they're like top 3. You know what I'm saying? So definitely really cool. I think something that I was super hype about was and I hated like all the hate it got was I really enjoyed seeing Gosu this tournament. I
Yeah.
enjoy, even though they got knocked out in the lower bracket. I remember that night I was in a Discord call. I was playing Magic Chest in a Discord call
Oh
with
my
two other
god.
people. I won't say their names, but I was playing, and somebody and the person was like, "Oh, like Gosu kind of lost," and I was like, honestly though, like I we can't put them on this pedestal. They're just a team, and everyone else in NA is fucking great. And the fact that they haven't played all year long and they made it to top 8, it honestly surprised me, because like when I first thought, I was like, I don't know how they're going to do in this tournament. NA's kind of stepped up, you know what I'm saying? They made it to top 8. I think they got a lot of, like, because they're so popular, they got a lot of slack, but I just think it was enjoyable to see them play, and they also, the way they played and the way they handled themselves in each game and everything. They took a game off the Valley, just always put up a great performance.
Yeah. And I mean, if we kind of look at, some like how you were talking about Gosu, like some other teams that been performing, made it there consistently. Bloodhounds has been doing really well. They've constantly, the last NACT made it to top 8, if I'm not mistaken. They made it to top 8 here. And then there was not, I wouldn't say new people, but a very new team to me, which was Legacy. Like they were, I mean, they made it up into the top 8. So, I mean, that's something, if they can keep continuing to work on, we might see them into, semifinals, finals sometime.
They're the ones who beat Gosu, weren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Legacy? They knocked Gosu out? Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is too, you said that Gosu got a lot of slack, but they got both ends of the stick there as well.
Oh, they did.
So yeah, there's as many people, as many fans as they had, were just as many people who were waiting for them to get knocked out so they could shove it in people's faces. But you're right, to top, from like not playing as a team to top 8 was absolutely like it was great, and you cannot deny the type of star power that they bring to North America when they're involved in these tournaments. And I really, really hope to see them involved more. And because like it's honestly as safe, I know there's a rivalry, and it creates, like, people can get super bitter over it. I feel like some people just can't separate. They feel like they can't like one team without hating every other team for some reason. And I mean, it's part of growing up or something like that. But like, I would love to see them involved in more, because I mean, it's, from what I gather from them, it's just a decent group of guys who are probably a little older than the average that's usually in Mobile Legends, and did actually fantastic. You did talk a little bit about the Simpsons and taking on Ackerman, and that was probably thus far one of my favorite series of the NACT, just for that fact that they pretty much came out swinging the Simpsons, and not just that, but like kind of proved, because it's been a pretty steady roster from the Simpsons, right? Like for like at least since I've been here.
6 months. I mean, maybe a player, but even then, the player was normally part of the roster. They were just bench, or something like that.
Yeah. That's unheard of in North America. It's like dinosaur years for North America to have a team for that long, and then seeing how successful it was, or hopefully will be as we move on into the finals here with them. But like I said, they made a believer out of me. They had a little bit of a hiccup, but they came, and they've been from their performance in NACT. They have been the standard for teams in North America, not just with they have a manager now, they have a social media, they have kept their noses clean, so they've kind of been holding up, they've been taking it serious, and that's why I said, like, they completely won me over from what I initially had thoughts of with them.
Bro, the fact that they beat at, like, honestly, like, I found the full bracket of the top 8, and I'm looking at it, and like when I look at the Simpsons' rise from where they started to how they got to, like, they did not have an easy bracket or an easy go at it. Like, they start off against Vendetta, they get swept by Vendetta, knocked down the lowers. They're only, and I hate to say this, they're only, I think, easy game, and Bo Carrasco, don't get mad at me, was probably the Bloodhounds game. That was their only, like, comparative to, like, what they had ahead of them, right? Like, and even then, I don't think it was an easy game. I'm just saying, like, comparative to, like, the mountains they had to climb, right? They went up against Ackerman after that. which we all know, like people expected Ackerman to be the finalists. Then they go up against Team First Blood, which is second place last year, which, yes, Team First Blood seemed a little shaky, but they still had a great series, right? Like they still are a top 5 team right now, and not just like a team that kind of made it to top 5. Like this is another team that we all expected to make it to probably top 4. So like they definitely have had quite a run. Definitely excited to see them go against the Valley in the finals. Now, Valley versus Simpsons, Las Vegas, super hype. I was talking about this last night, and like I feel like my only hopes right now for that I just don't want it to, as long as it's not a sweep, man. I just want it there to be like, I think the Valley is definitely the favorites, and I just hope that the Simpsons come in swinging like they have been, and like can, like if they are gonna lose, if they do end up losing, take 2 games. Let us watch like 5 or 6 games. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to leave Las Vegas with 4 games.
I feel you there. Go for it, bro.
I didn't want to interrupt you if you have something.
You're good. You're good.
Then we can talk a little bit about what's coming up. They are going to be bringing in Ureshi and who was the other one? the
Arvel?
Rome? Yeah. No, Arvel and
Eugen, right?
Eugen.
Not Ureshi.
I was like, you're
why did I say
Not Ureshi. That means they get rid of Promise.
I saw it off the corner of my eye. The corner of my eye, I saw it on the chat, and it kind of confused me. I'm like, wait, that doesn't make sense. No, so it's going to be Arvel and Eugen, who most people know from NASL. And I'm happy that they are going to be using people who main the roles they're going to be playing. Because I mean, I don't care how good you are. If you're going to be switching up a role suddenly, unless your name is Prophecy, apparently, like you're going to have some struggles with the synergy for that team, or with getting the sets and stuff like that. We saw it with Cinderella, who's primarily a mage player, right? For Simpsons.
Yeah,
she's been
mage in the back, in the past.
So yeah, there were some issues with the synergy we saw from the Simpsons. With that, and so hopefully when we get out there, we'll have. I mean, we've been talking about it. They've been practicing their asses off. They've been holding a lot of scrims, trying to build that, and I'm expecting great things. Especially like how much it's a question mark with where that ceiling is for them right now. We saw how well they did against Ackerman. They basically answered the call until there's those little things that they can't control, like when Damien first got out, so that and they had to kind of fill in with somebody. Like I'm expecting some great things from them in Las Vegas.
Yeah, I honestly think they could have taken, like, if they would have had Damien, I think that last series could have been possible, right? I'm not giving it to them because they did get swept by Vendetta in the earlier part of the bracket, but I do think like the possibilities are there. And Eugen and Arvel like aren't slouches. Like they didn't just pick up 2 randos, which is good. We know Eugen, like Gosu Eugen. We're talking like back from NASL 2 when he was in season 2, and even he wasn't in season 3. He dropped out towards the very end of season 2 from the Valley, and like people were banning out his Selena. Like the man is monstrous in the mage, and Arvel as a tank, solid. Like also would be playing for the Valley right now if Shark, Zane, and Chicken didn't join. So like, and he was playing for the Valley through the first half of season 3 when they were going undefeated. Like the Valley didn't get Zane and them onto the roster until the last game of the season, or even the beginning of playoffs. So like they went undefeated with Arvel on the roster. So like they're solid players, and not to mention they know basic. They know these players. So I think we should have a decent finals.
No, I think so as well, and I can't wait to see what they put down. And I mean, the biggest thing that I've been like pondering in the back of my mind is that like what is this land event gonna affect how like the players play? I want to know, and this is my hopes, that they just pull out some like crazy assassin or do something just out of there out of the world, you know. But again, it is the grand final, so I don't know if we'll see something like that. But they, again, like you guys said, they definitely subbed in two insane players, and I'm actually surprised. You know, of course, I mean it's Chicken and Moba Zane, but it had been a hard decision to swap out for the Valley's roster.
One thing I can say I'm excited about, I'm wondering, you mentioned LAN and how it's going to affect. I think that is going to be one thing that the Valley has a huge edge on, right? Like, all of the players in the Valley have experience in front of crowds. Every one of them has played Mobile Legends in front, or played some sort of pro MOBA in front of crowds before. So, like, I feel like they're going to be a bit, of course, not Las Vegas. It's not your homeland. It's not, most of them have all played in other places and stuff. But, like, the thing except for Hoon. But still, like, they just, in the Simpsons are, they're younger. I feel like it's gonna definitely be something they have to get past. I'm hoping that, like, as we speak, they're skirming right now with a bunch of cardboard cutouts in front of them, like with crowd music playing, so they can try to get used to it. If you guys are listening, that's what you need to be doing.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that, because with North American fan favorites, actual North America fan favorites like New Wave. You remember what happened when they first went in front of a crowd, that Liga Latam a while ago? They had a kind of a very frustrating performance, and talking with them, I think that was the biggest thing that they had talked about. They'd never been in front of a crowd before, and their nerves were on them. And now that they have that experience in front of them, look at what they're doing now. They're in, like, what, second place for Liga Latam right now, and
they're going
not just
M4.
second place, but they just beat first place Argentina, I believe, this weekend.
That's 11 Argentina.
An amazing match. Yeah, so I mean, it does play a role, and it's something you're going to have to kind of prepare for, and it might come into play. On the other side, though, one thing that might even it out is the fact that these, I don't know, I don't want to get in. I don't want to make assumptions, but I know Basic has made comments about, like, that they need a coach, maybe talking about how, like, the cohesion might be. And I mean, it's easy to tell if you've been watching any of the matches. You see, it's not as crisp as, like, dare I say, BTK was going in the M3. I mean, and it's hard to create that in the few months that they've had together as well. You're talking about a team that, what has it been, about 2 months now that they've been together?
Yeah.
And been playing consistently together. The Simpsons, we've talked about, been about 6 months. Is that going to, and then they do have 2 new players now. So, I mean, I guess that throws that all out the window.
It's true. It's true.
So they basically have the same amount of players, 3 players on each team who have played together and have that synergy, and with 2 kind of, cut in. So it's gonna be interesting to see how it goes. I do feel this meta is a little bit more forgiving when it comes to certain ceilings that you can hit, because it comes down once there's only so good you can get with certain heroes before it just comes down to draft, and was your draft a little bit stronger. As we've seen, like, I think a lot of these games kind of get settled in the draft, and having a counter for a Kai, or having a counter for Atlas out there, or giving up the Faramis and things like that, or getting baited into picking up a Faramis and Valentina or something like that.
So we actually seen that quite often in our last match.
So I was just yelling at them about that the other day. I was like, don't you guys ever play that shit again.
Well, and then that comes down to it too, is like just how well you can use some of those meta heroes. It's another thing with the LAN event too, is just it's our first event. It's our first LAN event too, and man, we have just come into issues with making sure that people can go, and like making sure people have the availability for it, to the point where, like, it's been frustrating. It's been hurdles out
stressful.
there.
Stressful to say the least,
What do you? I think anything in its first stages. I'm sure the very first MPL in the shopping mall that night that Leo was telling us about wasn't all fucking peaches and cream. You know, I'm sure they had subs too, because at that point there was no organizations and stuff, and I'm sure they had a lot of players were late and stuff. I'm sure it was pretty messy wherever it starts. So I think it's gonna, I've held pretty high hopes since the moment I heard it's going to be in Vegas. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, whether things end up messy or not. I think it's gonna be a huge growth spurt for us. I mean, all of us are coming together. The three of us are
That's
going to
what
see
I'm
each other for
saying.
the first time. Bunch of other creators, a bunch of players. Like, I think there's hype around this. Like, everyone I talk to, like, it's not all just about the game. Like, it's not all
Uh,
just about the finals that we're going to watch. I think it's so much even more about just the community coming together. Like, anytime I talk to someone about it, it's more of like, yo, what's going on? We're gonna see, like, I've been talking to team, I'm talking to players, talking to people, and everyone's more just excited to like all get together and have this event than just the event itself.
Well, it was
So
shameless plug for it, but even Davis said, like, even before the event happens, they're going to have a bunch of stuff going on. He said they're going to be treating it almost like a carnival beforehand of just a bunch of these activities and things that they want to go on. Which reminds me, guys, if you were planning on going and are looking and are trying to figure out how to get access to it, like, talk to them in the NACT Discord if you are actually planning on going. Like, have some real plans and are going to be able to pay your own way. That's a big thing. For some reason, a lot of people don't compute this into it. It's just like you're going to have to pay for tickets, your plane tickets, and your motel and stuff like that.
yeah,
I know
you
we've
could
got
just
all
sleep
this
on
sorted out.
Private's floor. You could just he actually told me that he's allowing 5 people to sleep on the floor. Only the first 5 though. First come, first served.
just rent a up or a U-Haul and have everybody sleep in the back of
Hell
it.
yeah, that's great. That's a
Jesus.
great. People are just like tenting out on the Vegas Strip with
Yeah,
Mobile Legends logos and stuff on their
that's what I'm
tent.
saying. We're all hugged against like light poles where there's plugins or like the side of buildings. Like we're just trying to play Mobile Legends, man.
Breaking news: the homeless rate has recently shot up over the past week due to a Mobile Legends event.
Wow.
Yeah, and I mean it's a big time right now in this time in the year right now. It's big not just for North America but like all over the world right now. Everybody's having their qualifiers right now, and it's been pretty intense. Like I found myself like I even forgone a bunch of shows that I watch because I've been trying to catch up on other metas from different
Don't
countries and stuff
spoil it,
like that.
bro. Don't spoil
Don't spoil. Oh,
anything.
you haven't? Oh,
I'm
man.
bro. I've been trying to watch. I'm still on day 1 of MPL ID. I'm at like 2-2 or Fire versus Alter Ego, and I haven't looked at Twitter. I haven't looked at Facebook. I haven't looked at anything because I'm actually committing to like watching at least MPL PH and ID all the way through the playoffs, and I just haven't been able to do it because they don't start till 12 a.m. And I try to watch them this weekend. I'll probably just like binge watch all of it.
Yeah, that's crazy. And I haven't watched any of those, to be honest. I haven't actually had time with like college classes and stuff. But it'd be crazy to see your guys' input on it. Later on, might be something worthy to talk about every once in a while. Like kind of doing
Honestly,
like weekly recaps.
if you guys didn't know, I don't know if we had discussed it, but even with the meta right now, I believe next Wednesday a new update comes out.
Yeah, I heard.
Right
Right before
before.
finals.
Yeah.
Oh my
Which I
gosh.
don't
Yeah.
like I'm pretty sure playoffs, like, and that's something that when it comes to like tournaments, we're a bit behind this year on, is like MPLs over there, they stay on the same patch, I'm pretty sure. Or they're gonna stay on the same patch for playoffs. I could be wrong. But I want to say, because I remember in the very beginning of the MPL, they were talking about how now they have like what patch they're playing on up in the right hand corner of the screen. You can see it because like certain times they won't change the patch and stuff like that, and we don't have the ability to do that, I don't think. So yeah, The Valley and the Simpsons going at it in a brand new patch, brand new update. So that's gonna
there's a lot of changes to this patch. I haven't even had time to look over all of them yet, but there's a ton of different ones. Especially Minotaur is gonna probably start coming in soon because he's already started. We've started seeing little trickles of it in North America. I've seen even more of it
over there
in C server. Yeah, in C server. And with I think the newest change that I noticed when I breezed through it was that Minoan Fury doesn't wear out anymore. Or it's not a Minoan Fury. The rage doesn't go down anymore, so you can get rage and keep it. So I mean, man, and
he's gonna get a big buff, and his first skill is gonna do knock up. I don't know if that's coming in the next update, but I saw something where his dive skill is gonna knock you up, but his Minoan's Fury is only gonna give one knock up at the very end, but it slows you down anyways. Like he's definitely probably gonna make a comeback into meta. I think like within the next month we'll probably be seeing a lot because we're like you said, he's already trickling. I think he's coming in.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting. And kind of back to the, the Vegas topic, and because I kind of wanted to talk about this myself, is that you were saying earlier that like a lot of us, some of us that are actually going to the event are kind of just going because a lot of us other content creators are going, this is the first time that I'm going to get to see a lot of people. You, Private, Wheezy's going to be there, Pika's going to be there. I've already met Wheezy. I think Ben Dunhead Vid's gonna be there. So like literally all the people we grew together in like content creation and Mobile Legends for like literally for like the past like year and a half, almost 2 years. Like we're finally gonna get to meet. It's like a family reunion when we didn't even know that we were like a complete family.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be crazy. I'm excited. I think I'm excited. I'm I'm excited to see a lot of the players and just a lot of stuff. Like see all the Simpsons and stuff. See, I know some of the mods are coming. There's a lot of people coming that I'm excited to see.
I'm excited to put a face to all these fucking Hanabi players that are in the show.
It's you.
It's been you, and you're a Layla player, aren't you? I can see it in your eyes.
Are you gold lane only 345? Oh yeah, I got your number.
Show me your history, bud.
You the one that reported me last week?
Oh man, and I can say I don't know if anybody else knows or if they put it out. They put out a little bit of a teaser, but I think all the casters have seen the new trophy that's going to be at. Dude, it looks so good, and I know this is teasing, and I know you guys are gonna be angry because you guys can't see, but
we've seen it.
So
it's
good.
So nice.
Yes, it looks so good. I'm so excited too.
Definitely another cool thing. That trophy looks clean, especially I'm guessing. I guess this doesn't spoil. Like we saw it like in its just like originally made state. We didn't like see. I don't know if they're gonna paint it or what, but if it ends up being like gold or whatever, it is gonna look because it wasn't like shiny or anything. It looks like it was just made, So like once that thing's like polished up and stuff, woo, we might have to steal it. We're gonna have to steal it, Private. Just run away.
It's gonna be crazy. I can't wait for it. I mean, this is our LAN events. I kind of wish that we could take one home. They need to sell replicas.
Well, you could take it home if you're fast enough.
We'll go.
I don't know if
Ocean 3. The Ocean 3 coming into Vegas to steal. I'll drop down on a rope and take the trophy in the middle of the night. The great heist. Definitely excited. Oh man.
Dude, well, we could we could talk about another topic, like kind of what's actually going down in the NACT and how the Simpsons got to the grand finals. I think a lot of people have they're still, wondering on their mind, and they're just, still up in the air on what's possibly going down there.
Yeah, well, the Simpsons are going. Official. The Simpsons are going to Vegas. They did sub out. If you guys just came in, they did sub out 2 members. It's going to be Arvel and Eugen on their team now. Gosu Eugen and Arvel, who used to be the roamer for the Valley. Vendetta is not going. To those that know, first it started with an announcement from them saying that they had some issues. They wouldn't be able to make it to Vegas. Then for about 3 days, there was a lot of clips made, a lot of talk from members of the Valley and several other members of the community saying that it was pretty easy to tell that the XP laner had a pilot on it. And recently we just got an announcement from NACT, right, G?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were was it the like no, yeah, because they were just saying that they had some type of proof. Of course they're not going to go into complete details of what happened, but something was verified in the back, be it the IP address, the players, something like that. But
Well, I'm not going to say this is
it
how they found out, but
definitely
it's very easy on the game to go
See
in
where
and see
you're-
what
It
device was
is.
used. What device was used? And I'm not saying that's how they found out, but it was confirmed that the way that they worded it, dishonest. They were being
Yes.
dishonest, so they aren't going to get it, and they forfeit their place and the rewards that come with it. And yeah,
Well,
I mean,
they also, if I'm not mistaken, like third place doesn't even have rewards anymore, right? I
the
just read that up.
Yeah, they just made the
They're
announcement.
putting it back into the tournament. They're
I
putting it
guess.
into goodies.
is it
and
into the
stuff like
tournament,
that.
or did I misread it? I thought they said they were going to
It
do
says
something.
we will pledge the
that's-
full $1,500 USD and 2,500 diamonds
to goodies.
back into the community and some form of amazing Halloween gifts and gadgets.
Yeah, so they're going to be apparently using that money to spend for the people who go to the live event, is what was put out. At least that's the way I understood it. So
It's all gonna go into a nice cowboy hat and boots for Assassin Dave.
Oh, geez.
Cowboy.
I don't
Shots
know.
fired,
I
literally.
just randomly said it. I'm just joking. So your guys' opinions, because this is something that I feel like is kind of a touchy subject, right? So like in their announcement, they definitely were very obscure, which I think is professional of them, right? Like you said, they just said they were dishonest. They didn't go into they made sure they weren't trying to like hammer into Vendetta, like probably a lot of the community is right now, and things like that. I think their rules were fair. But also something I noticed is they did not mention anything about a permanent ban or anything like that, which I think a lot of people in the community have been asking about. And of course, we don't know what happened behind the scenes. Maybe they just came clean and were like, yeah, this happened. We had this player play for us, you know? So what do you guys think? Do you guys think it's fair?
My ideal behind it is that definitely. So this my idea behind it, and because I think it's like a teeter-totter, it's a situation, right? Like they didn't really reveal enough information to know who it was. So I personally think that maybe the team itself should have been punished, but again, it could have been a 50-50 maybe. And again, I mean, it's a team. We don't know. These are all just speculations. We don't know if like maybe half the team didn't even know that there was piloting going on.
I'm gonna stop you there. I got viewers that I play with that I don't play with every day. I have a few people that I play. Like when a Fanny comes out that good, there is no question.
The account has like
and especially
six
when you're
games on it.
Yeah.
I'm just giving them the benefit of the doubt.
Like for instance, like I know Blaze, I know Cross, I know all these other people that I play with occasionally, and we're talking about people that these guys play with every single day, and that's kind of there's no way that they didn't know, and that's kind of where I come from when it comes to this, is because it's not just it's not just that they for whatever reason that they did whatever it is that they did. I don't care if it's because they wanted to get an advantage or because they were merely trying to sidestep rules that said that younger people couldn't, or people younger than 16, I believe it was, couldn't compete. The fact remains that there were other teams that saw those rules and changed out their roster. Yeah, to something that they weren't probably more comfortable with because they were trying to follow the rules. And at this point, you've made it so that you don't even know how well Vendetta would have done had some of these other teams maybe kept those players in there, because you kind of muddied those waters. And you've made it not as fair. Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, not only that, like, you don't even know, like, and I hate to say this, but like, it's true. Like, we don't even know if, I mean, of course there was nothing obvious, but maybe someone subbed in earlier throughout the tournament and things like that. You know, at any point there could have been a sub, maybe not as obvious as that, but yeah, like, we don't even know if they really would have made it to the top 8. And that's the sad part about it, right? That's the kind of shitty thing about it. Now, like, I get it in North America. Like, trust me, like, if there's anyone who understands, I've hosted a lot of tournaments. I've had to deal with teams that have player issues. I get it. You got jobs, you got things to do, stuff like that. But the reality is like, if they would have probably just like stepped to Dave or stepped to someone and been like, hey, our player can't make it. Is there something we can do about it? There's a high chance that someone might have worked with them, because we're very big on just like making sure the show happens, right? Like, even now, the Simpsons are going to get 2 subs. And I get it. It's the final, so it's a little bit different. But the point being is, like, if they would have just came immediately, but now you've done too much. So it's just kind of like, it's like, now I don't even know how to feel about it.
Well, not just that, but like, there's other things too with visa issues or things like that kind of a lot of people came out too late. I know a lot of them that I'm going to be referring to are no longer a factor because the teams are eliminated, but there were people who didn't really kind of rally or not rally, but like get the visa stuff like taken care of in a timely manner, or even have that stuff planned out in time, to the point where conversations with Dave and them all were like, if they had told us sooner. Like, Moontoon is a huge corporation that has strings that it can pull to help people if they had been told in time. And I was talking a little bit, I don't want to get too deep into it, but I was talking a little bit about like a parent that reached out to me from Vendetta trying to help out. I don't know if he knew the whole story or whatever. I won't go into details, but it's another thing too, for any of you guys, especially the viewers who are like have prospective teams that you want to be a part of, or there's a lot of, I know when you're young, there's a lot of assumptions and putting stuff off in the back. There's no shame in going to your parents and being like, yo, there's this thing I'm trying to do. I might need help. And because I don't understand visa issues or anything like that, like, it would probably be like 100 times easier to kind of get that stuff managed, especially with some of our Canadian players. Because like it becomes a little bit of an issue to get here, but not as big of an issue if you're on top of it from the beginning. There's a lot of different things that kind of come into play with the rules, and some of it's on us, some of it's on NACT as well. I feel like there's a part that could have been spaced out a little bit more. I know we have all the qualifiers right now. I feel like if maybe there had been more word about this NACT and the rules and everything like that, and people had, like, I want to say at least maybe an extra month to prepare for these visa issues and stuff like that. Because I feel like the registration came very quickly, didn't it? It was like registration starting like and it closes in like I was like
2 or 3 weeks. It wasn't even a month. I know that it was rough.
It was also like NACT and then NACT again, you know, like it was like almost back-to-back NACTs.
We had to start the playoffs early on NASL because of it. NACT just ended. We were like, okay, we're gonna finish out our season 3 now, and we get like 2 weeks in or like a week in, and they're like, all right, fall season registration's open, M4 qualifiers, here we come, and I'm like, oh fuck, like I'm just like, oh man, this sucks. I gotta think of something now, and like, yeah, we've been on our like this year. We have been on our toes. Like, we have been moving. It's been definitely a lot this year, which is good. Like, it's awesome, but it has definitely been like just busy.
But that's the nature, and that's kind of the difference sometimes. Like a lot of people ask questions about like us getting an MPL, things like why don't you see too many assassin players in North America, other things like that, which really are
Assassin's
always
trash
answered by the
right
same
now.
thing. Yeah, it's just it's the geography of North America. We were talking about how some of the difficulties that the first Filipino MPL faced, where they were all when they were in a mall, but like if you think about it, like the Philippines is probably like what the size of
Florida,
one of our states, and we have 50 of them. Like a whole across is like there's a huge distance for people to cover when it comes to land when it comes to and then of course North America, Canada, potentially Mexico. I'm not sure if that's going to continue, just because I don't really think too many of the Latin or South American teams. Like I think it's a lot harder for Mexican to get a visa to the US than it is for Canadians, I believe. I want to say I'm completely ignorant to it, but I feel like that's the case, and that's why those original rules were made for in North America just to be Canada and the US. But it's a lot of things that we're learning with it, and then that's another thing too, is to kind of take it in stride. If you're a viewer, there's a lot of like, well, we could have done this, we could have done that. We're still learning, dude. We're barely hobbling up on our 2 feet, learning to walk.
you don't have
and,
feet, Private.
that.
Private, you don't have feet. Watching your little potato do
just,
that
like,
a second
hobbled.
ago was
He
like,
just wobbled.
Private, you don't have any feet.
But yeah, it's a learning experience that we're starting, and the same with catching dishonest people. I'm going to keep up with that. I'm going to keep up with that for like a year now with this dishonest, because I really want to just say
dishonest.
yeah, but like they're always kind of putting in more processes as things go. Like there's a saying in the military too, is like we always get like these stupid random classes about something, whether it's like driving safely or this and that will like take up our weekend or something like that, and somebody will ask the stupid question like, why are we getting this class? And the answer is always because somebody messed up, and the answer is to get another class like this, so where and so we're learning, and we'll improve processes as we move along with it. But yeah, it's creating a bit of a stir, just because of like some people agree with the penalty or punishment. Some people think it should be more severe. Some people think it shouldn't. Like I said, I was all for it until I was kind of contacted by one of the parents of one of the players in Vendetta, and I felt really, really kind of bad after the comments from him, because he was really just trying to help out to see what was going on, and just the description of how his son was like really excited and then kind of really torn down that they couldn't continue. So it kind of like I said, I'm usually the stickler for the rules and like, man, burn them at the stake, but like I'm just kind of like, like because like especially when it comes to like cheating or something like that. But we're still growing, and we're still kind of learning things, so it's going to take time for us to kind of like, even though like certain punishments happened last season, that doesn't mean it's going to be the same way this season. Like we're still kind of adjusting to how that happens in North America.
I personally thought it was pretty crazy that they just like got rid of third place like prize pool, like, and they didn't like raise another team up to like third place, that could have possibly been there without something dishonestly happening, that kind of surprised me, and it like I normally don't see that happen, especially when it's something like this,
I mean, technically, Team First Blood did have fourth place. Definitely a little iffy. That was kind of a weird call, I would agree. Like, since Simpsons moved up, their runners up to second place, they become second place. Technically, Team First Blood should have gotten runner up to third place. Yeah, definitely a weird call, but again, I mean, I agree. When I first saw the announcement on them getting, I was like, oh, so what are they gonna do? I was like, there's two options, right? Either Team First Blood gets third place prize money, or they split
Give it to me.
all of the prize,
I'll take a check.
or give it to me, or they just they like make it a 60-40 split between first and second place, something like that. Or like a 70-30 split between first and second place. But they made that call. I do think that I think that the rules themselves, I do agree with the consequences for Vendetta. They lose their prize money. I'm not on the train of like never let any of them play again. I'm just not right now. I think next year, now that we know this, like by the time we get towards like the middle to the end of next year, like as we keep going through these tournaments, I will definitely become a bit more stickler on rules. But currently I feel like because we're still in these baby phases, like I'm a bit more understandable of like, yeah, I get it. Like, come on, like I'm sure fucking 40% of the teams had a pilot. Let's be 30% of maybe not that many.
Well, that also brings up the
64,
question.
like I bet a lot of teams broke small rules here and there. I'm just saying, like, and it's when you're in this big of an event this wide, I think until we get down to about like 10-team tournaments where everything is pre-verified beforehand and traveling plans are pre-verified, we're going to continue to have issues like this. And like, I don't know. I think they got what they deserved. They lost their money. They lost their spot. If there was a single player that fessed up to it, give that one player the consequence. Maybe make a miss next NACT. I don't think anyone deserves a perma ban right now.
I'd be fine with like a soft roundhouse kick.
Yeah, good solid punch in the gut.
A soft?
Hey man.
Oh God. What does that even mean?
No, I'm just kidding. I like I said, we're very young in the right now. But let's move on to a happier subject because I don't want to make this all like a negative Nancy about
Potatoes crying.
All right, to lighten things up real fast. It's not a subject, but something I've been wanting to say. The real highlight of the NACT, guys, and I know a lot of the chat agrees, the biggest highlight of the NACT was the private face reveal, or the human filter that this potato next to us used. That was definitely, me and G watched that together, watched the first stream when you came on, and we were like, what? We were hyped. We were like, bro, we were fucking pumped, bro. Yeah, everybody in the chat was like, who is this? Who's this imposter?
I thought his potato just like you mirrored his skin color, like.
I was actually a little. There was just a lot of emotions going through me because initially when we had talked about it, the face reveal was just going to happen in Vegas. And we were just going to do the potato throughout the NACT. But then, like, I want to say it was the day before Dave reached out to me and is like, yeah, they're trying to put it on the esports, the mobile. I thought it was going to be the main channel, but he said the esports, the Mobile Legends esports. I don't know what the significance or difference between those YouTube channels is. And they want to know if you'll go without the filter. And I was just like, well, yes. Yeah. So I was like, because I know it's a big thing. It's the NACT, the qualifiers for M4, and I didn't want to be that. I don't know. I felt like it would be kind of dickish to be like, I don't know. My adoring fans just wouldn't handle that well. So,
sorry, potato's not coming off.
Yeah, and then next thing I know, I don't even get the call, and G's up there first day.
Oh, geez. I just get the table scraps?
No, not a table scrap. I'm pretty sure they would have had somebody else up there. If I don't know, it depends. I don't know how Moontune is or how iron fisty they are about things like that. But I don't know. Like I said, it's interesting, and I'm kind of excited about it too. It's and the whole thing is like. A lot of people have been asking if I'm going to stick with it or if I'm not. It just depends. Like for streams and stuff like that, I love it. For this stuff, I there's a lot that goes into like doing this and entertaining in this way. Like the little facial expressions you could do as a potato and stuff like that. It made things
We've all
fun.
grown to love it for sure.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have, and we'll see what the future holds. I'm just It's been an exciting time, and I just want to see how. Like I said, initially it was just to see how far I could take it. Like,
pretty far.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, honestly, and that's why I said I was really happy because Trex had trust in it. He was at first. I remember he's like, "We're going to talk about this potato thing," and then I remember him like just coming back to me and being like, "You know what? Fuck it. Let's just go with the potato." And I was like, "Fuck it, let's go." And then we took that pretty far to like the first 2 seasons of NACT as well.
Yeah.
After and 2 seasons of NASL. Well,
I remember the
still,
first
depends on
time.
how we do.
I remember the first time he hit me up. He was like, "Yeah, man, we're gonna have a potato on our casting tape." I was like, "A fucking potato? What's a potato?" I'm like, "What does that mean?"
Just wait and see.
He did. He just said, "Wait and see," and by all means, hey, it's stuck. It's a great. I love it. It's a great persona. We all have our content creator personas and stuff like that. I love it.
Yeah,
I
but
forgot to put our handles on, guys. I'm putting them on now.
Oh my god! How are they gonna know who we are?
I don't know, bro. I really screwed
I'm
up,
Maker.
guys.
I made Jesus. Okay, Frank's already taken over for me.
He wouldn't dare try to be me.
The question, I think, is on all of our minds, though. T-Rex.
Yes.
Are you going to be a T-Rex?
Am I gonna be a No, I am a T-Rex. I'm gonna dress in a giant human costume, a blow-up human costume.
Oh my gosh. I
don't know,
that'd
we'll
be
see.
something else.
No,
He just storms the stage as a T-Rex.
I'm just gonna come as me. I'm gonna have a fresh ass haircut. I got it scheduled for next week on the 26th, the day before I leave.
Same.
Oh my god, are all of these connected or something? I change one and they all become the same.
Yeah, you gotta duplicate, or you gotta
just make fresh ones. I can't duplicate. That's what I did.
Yeah. You can like paste a reference or whatever.
So we've talked a bit about the Simpsons and their rise. How are we feeling about the Valley?
I feel great about them. I probably feel better than a lot of other people do, honestly.
Yeah. I feel like they're definitely having their struggles. And you can tell. You can definitely tell there's moments that the synergy is just completely off. One thing that I've seen in my community's kind of outreach to me is that it still seems like that maybe Shark has a vendetta, even though he's playing on there. Like, I don't know if he's absolutely giving 100%, but sometimes you see him give 100%. But there's the moments where when I was watching you cast private, that Shark was just, I was like, what are you doing? And the same thing came with Chicken. Chicken was having a tough time too.
Which is interesting to me because I feel like all of these players play at such a high level and high degree that it's like those people, like I've been told before that I because I smile a lot and I laugh a lot, and the moment I stop doing that and I'm focusing or typing something on the computer, people are like, "Are you upset? Are you sad?" It's just that contrast that if like when you have players that play so well at the top of the game that when they do something lackluster, it sticks out like a sore thumb. We saw it with Shark. Yeah, he was getting caught out a lot, and I feel like it might have been the fact that he maybe is not as comfortable on Atlas as he is other mages. I mean, like, there is a stark difference between him playing Atlas and him playing Grok. Like Grok is like a bread and butter for him. Lolita the same way too, and a lot of players there. And I think I actually saw something from Hoon talking about how he got like very little sleep before that game too. Something was going on that he had little sleep, and it was I mean, it was some rough games that last weekend for the Valley, and then casting that, you could see it up close just because we were watching it very closely and intently. You could just see that there's some things going on. I'm not sure if that was just a game where they were all kind of like off of it, and of course there's the one they got duped by a Fanny pick out of nowhere. Like, and I can't imagine like what that kind of does too, is like it kind of like punched a little something serious. Like, I mean, we know, like, I'm gonna tell you right now, I've seen Zayn, and I've seen the like what happens when like they lose the early game and they get invaded and stuff like that. I feel like that's like probably the worst point for Zayn is getting invaded and getting his stuff getting buffs refused and stuff like that. He has a problem sometimes coming back from that, or it's the toughest position for him, is coming from that angle. I don't want to say it's tough for him because he's a great player, and I dare not say that he's like he's bad at something, because I don't think he is. But I feel like that scenario is probably the toughest thing that Zayn does throughout all games, is if he has to come back from something, getting his jungle taken from the early game.
I mean,
so it's really interesting. Go ahead.
I think my debate for it would be that, like, I don't think that they're all right. So like everyone always wants to kind of compare it to like, oh, they're way worse than what BTK was, or like what Prime BTK was. But first of all, I don't exactly believe that at all, because 3 of the 5 players are BTK, and I can guarantee you that Chicken, Shark, and Zayn have all gotten better since last year. So that's 3/5 of the team. I know no matter what is better than a year ago. Nothing's going to tell me different. I think Zayn's come such a long way in hero pool and adapting to new metas. Same with Chicken. His hero pool has grown hugely since then. He can go from gold lane to XP lane. He played Ruby in the finals, which he didn't do it great, but he used to hate Ruby. So just things like that. Shark as well. So my debate is that maybe it's not that they're like that off. Maybe NA is also not like it used to be, like BTK was a different breed in that time. They were leagues above everyone in the country. And that's why I think everyone saw them. They were just like this, like the holy trinity. but I think now it's like they're having challenges, which is good. I think it's healthy for them. And they're going through tournaments where it's like they're not dominating like they used to. So maybe it's not that they're like having huge hiccups. It's just like NA is giving them some hiccups. Some of the teams are giving them some hills that they have to climb. I do think that they have good odds if they go to M4. I think they have good odds.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, anything can happen at M4, man. I think any team, Blacklist, any team can go up against the wrong team, go to the lower bracket, and get knocked out. You know what I'm saying? Like last time, who did they lose to in the upper bracket? BTK lost to Onyx. It was just kind of like a kryptonite team, especially at that time. They couldn't play assassin jungle, and that was kind of their weakness, and Onyx was able to beat them with that, right? So like I think if BTK goes against the wrong team or two, yeah. I mean, if the Valley goes up against the wrong team or two, if they go to M4, yeah, they could get knocked out quick. But I also think they have the possibilities to definitely get top 3 again. I think the team, as I just stated about why I think they're going to do good in finals, there's no more nerves. I mean, there'll be some nerves, but not like it was then. I think their group stage is going to be way better this time. I think they're going to go in much more prepared for the current meta. I think they're going to go much more prepared to draft against the enemy teams. I think overall, like when I look at them as a whole and what they could go to M4 as, I think they have better odds. Like I just do. I don't know. At least I feel more comfortable like that. I felt iffy when BTK went.
But I kind of feel like that is what made them work so hard, is because they went in with the mindset that we're the new kids on the block. They're going to everybody's going to be gunning for us, and everybody thinks we're a shit team. So we really need to prove it. And I really hope that they go in with that same type of mindset, that we really need to do great here. We need to put in the effort. We need to put in the hours. I know Zayn is like that 24/7. Like I think with an ego, I mean, I think it's pretty safe to say he's got an ego. And with an ego, an ego that big, his is different though, is because he works to feed it. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't want to be shown up, so he's going to use that to keep on playing harder and put in those hours, and so that nobody else can ever have that over him. And I just want to see that from the rest of the team as well. Not that I haven't, but there is something to say about the only thing that I think BTK has over current Valley is synergy.
Yeah.
BTK, we're talking about 2 years playing together. And you just can't create that. You have to. I've said this before. I feel like these dudes, like when they're in Las Vegas, I feel like they need to go out somewhere. They need to go bowling. They need to go
Let's take
laser
them bowling
tag,
private.
something. No, well, honestly, like I feel like that's what we used to
Team
do
building.
in the military. Yeah, it's team building. You just go out, something outside of work, quote unquote. It's something where everybody gets to know each other. Everybody gets to kind of get a feel for each other, where you like just have fun and get to know, and maybe bury the hatchet of whoever slept with whoever's mom between shark and freaking chicken, because apparently those two hate each other.
Don't take that out of context.
Whoa.
I'm just saying though, is that they need, like, I really like whatever is going on, they need to be able to bury it, go out, have fun with each other, talk to each other, learn about each other, and respect each other. And I want that to happen so bad for them to kind of reach that synergy that's going to be needed for M4 if they go there. I mean, I don't want to count our eggs before they hatch or anything, but like, because we still have to worry about the Simpsons, who's still. I think you mentioned about how we've improved, and I also think the meta helps right now.
Yeah,
I think the meta almost holds back a lot of those micro and mechanically gifted heroes to the point that it's actually leaning on the team right now. We've seen so many around the world. I know you're still trying to watch it, but like in the qualifiers, there's been so many upsets, so many great squads that just in and out of nowhere are getting beat by proper drafting, and it's not because those mechanically gifted people who used to play those Guzhien, those Lancelots, those Lings are getting outdone by just a pure draft and CC and tanky heroes. I think the draft right now favors that team over those just single shining stars. And it's something that NA is going to have to learn, especially because I feel like in NA, besides old BTK, there is kind of a synergy problem to kind of be spoken about, especially with a lot of the other teams besides the Simpsons, which is probably saying something about the Simpsons of how far they were able to make it, and is part of that because of how long they've been able to stick together and play on the same team.
Yeah, I think it's coming down to, like during that time, there was that the assassin meta and stuff like that. And like you were saying, that there was just that singular star of the team that was, you could tell, just doing it all. And I'm actually glad a lot of that's changed, because it's made casting, it's made analytics behind casting just so much like better. And I personally enjoy what's kind of going on with the team fights. I feel like Mobile Legends playing it is also really good. So, I mean, it is what it is. And then to go back on like how you were saying how like the teams need to start like team building, I think that's something they need to do. Like go play Call of Duty or something, like go play Overwatch
together, bro.
like geez,
go build a sandcastle.
Go Minecraft, yeah, like kind of like do something, like
the Valley Minecraft server.
Ooh, that sounds litty. Sounds so toxic. Basic SMP.
Oh my god! I could just see them like all leaving Mobile Legends to be Minecrafters.
Everyone's house is getting griefed nonstop. TNT everywhere. It's total mayhem. That's exactly what it is.
But also to build upon like that, like team building and stuff. I feel like if the teams can get like proper coaches or even analytics, like a proper teammate to do analytics behind to see pathing on what people are doing and stuff like that, I feel like that's going to be a huge thing in the tournaments to come. And I mean, just kind of like what you guys were saying earlier, just like this is the foundation. I mean, this is like a baby right now. Then this NACT is not the first qualifiers for Worlds, but it's still in that infant stage. And I think a lot of teams are starting to see that. I mean, Simpsons picking up a coach, I think, is a huge thing. And if played well, the coach possibly, could turn some tides here.
I've heard a lot of teams had coaches though, and only one of them is actually here in the finals right now, so I can't even really speak to the.
Well, I mean, only 2 teams go to the finals, so.
Well, I'm just saying. A lot of teams had coaches, and it didn't help them against the Valley. And
this is true.
And
this
honestly,
is true.
I don't think my honest to God thought I don't think there's anybody in NA that can coach the Valley. For one, I don't think that there's even.
I don't think there's anyone in
first of
NA
all,
that's like legitimate like coach level. And in all honesty, that's really taking it that deep of a level as like the coaches that are getting paid in MPL right now.
Yes.
You know, like those guys, that's their job. They're studying.
And I feel like
all
those
day.
type of coaches are the only ones that the Valley would need. Like, I mean, I'm sure there's little things that they could work on, maybe some basics, but like you don't need a coach for that. They can scrub up on themselves. I feel like if they're going to be able to get a coach, the level it has to come from is going to have to be like from Indonesia, from PH, from something like that.
How blacklisted to them.
Yeah, not just well, and then I've explained this before to people. Is like Blacklist getting beat the first time was just showing how good BTK and their synergy was. Blacklist beating BTK the second time, that was all on the backs of the coaches.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. That's where those coaches came in and actually sat down and took them seriously and went about their picks. And I feel like hopefully M4 it's gonna be interesting. I don't want to like I say, yeah, just because like I feel like we are gonna need a coach in NA. I think there's 2 problems for the Valley, for Simpsons, or for maybe not Simpsons. I know that they have a coach, but like if we're talking about the Valley getting one, I don't know if there's anybody at their level, and 2, I don't know that there's somebody at their level that they would respect.
Yeah. That could like handle them, because they're definitely a handful, right? Like I can imagine.
I feel that.
Like that could like handle coaching them. That would be like
it's like a college
not even just
dorm
handling,
room.
but even for like the simplest scenario, Zane wants to pick one thing, and this person thinks Zane should pick the other thing. Who would Zane listen to?
Yeah.
Is there somebody that Zane would listen to that's not himself in that scenario in NA?
I don't know.
I don't know. You know.
I don't think he makes like all the. I don't know, honestly. I can't say just because I don't really know. Like I've never sat in their comm, so like I like to believe that I think that like Chicken has decent word over those things. Like I think I think he listens to the rest of the team. Some like I think him and Chicken are like the main. Back even BTK, that was always my thought on like those 2 are like the brains, right? Like those 2 are like the ones who are like, all right, let's do this. So, but but even when it comes to a coach, I don't like those 2. I don't know if they would listen to somebody.
Yeah. And so I was going to say, I actually, after the Vendetta games and everything, I was just kind of chilling, working out. And then, so I pulled up Moba Zane's stream, and he was going over like what kind of was going on, and, why they suspected Shark to be in like so bad right at this moment and stuff like that. And apparently it seems like their team has like it's almost like a democracy in there, like they vote upon like what each person's like going for, but then sometimes like they'll back talk, and then like Moba Zane said he didn't want Shark to go Atlas, but Shark still went Atlas, and he was like, it was some of those dumb mistakes that he said he kind of needs to step up. And when he says that he needs to step up, kind of comes to show me that maybe there's not a unity in the team. There's not one person making the calls. It's like a combined joint effort of like all of them kind of saying what they want to do. And then they're like, the team being like, yeah, maybe. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this like a month or 2 ago, or maybe like 2 months ago, that like when we first heard about the Valley getting together as the current team, we're like, if they want to really succeed, someone needs to be if they're going to go coachless, someone needs to be the end all be all in the end. Like they can democracy it up, but when it comes down to a draw or there's a lot of heat in the air, you guys need to come to the agreement that this person makes the final call. And and that can be different than even the shot caller in the game. But like during draft, like I feel like in draft, you need to have someone that's like, all right, we can talk about this. Because even Blacklist, for example, like the coach and Venus and a few of them, like you can see them all talking about the draft during the draft and stuff. Like you'll see like Venus talking and be like, you don't know what they're saying, but I've heard things that like they put input in, you know. But in the end, there has to be that one person who is like, no, this is the call. This is what we're going. And it's definitely a heavy weight. And the good thing about a coach is they're not playing at the same time. So I feel like it's a little bit of a less weight. Like it's still a heavy weight to make that call, but it's a shared weight because they're the ones going in to execute it. You have the vision in your brain, but like when you're playing it as well, it definitely, I think it's a little bit harder to be able to make those things.
Well, and that's why it's usually easier to have a coach that doesn't play, is because when it doesn't work out, they don't have to get mad at their teammate for making that choice. They get mad at the coach.
Exactly.
Everybody else they just become that punching bag. Like, oh yeah, I fucked up. So sorry, guys. You know what I mean? Like, as long as they're not mad at each other. We're gonna, like I said, it gets down to it right now. The Valley, they've had some struggles and things, and hopefully they start to get, like, that's why I said team building. That's my answer. If you're not going to get a coach, go to a bowling alley, something, laser tag, sport guns. I don't know,
Minecraft,
something to get.
We should invite them to Top Golf. We should invite them to Top Golf.
I like it. I like it.
None of us know how to freaking swing a club. We're gonna be out there embarrassing ourselves.
Dude, someone's gonna let go of a golf club. I know.
Dude, I'm gonna hang on for dear life. But it's gonna. I'm excited. North America's. There's great things going on right now. That will kind of see us into the future, especially M4. Dude, I'm so excited. You have no idea. Sure. 2 weeks we got this. The end of the year we got M4 to look forward to. It's gonna be a big thing, and especially with how much everything has been growing. It's I don't know.
I'm excited.
It's so many ways you can say that.
So
is
we
there any
are
team that
you can.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say we are at an hour and 11 minutes. I was gonna leave it. If anyone in the chat did have questions, now's a good time to ask them. I can go for about another 10 to 15 minutes, especially since there's no editing for me tonight because we're just going live. But go to your topic. But I will keep my eyes in the chat for the next 10 minutes if you guys have any questions in the chat right now. And I apologize if it feels like you guys are ignored or anything, but we really want this to feel as organic as possible and not really like a Q&A. It's one of the reasons why we haven't live streamed it. This is our first time doing it, and I personally was very iffy about it. But now that we're closing into the end, if you guys have anything you want to ask, feel free to do it. Private, what were you going to say?
I was just gonna say that no, I mean we can do questions at the end. It'll probably make it a little easier for some reason, especially if they have predictions on every MPL region. Jesus.
New wave.
I do think it's gonna be new wave in S11 for Latam. I do think it's new wave in S11. Which is awesome because I'm gonna have two teams to vote for in M4 now. NA and New Wave. So I'm excited about that.
We can't even talk about the other MPLs because freaking T-Rex hasn't
not
watched
caught
it yet.
up.
If I give my prediction, he's
sorry guys. Next week. We'll talk about it next week. We'll try to do we'll try to do a podcast, another one on Tuesday maybe, right before, or Tuesday or Wednesday night right before we all leave for Vegas.
Do one from there?
Oh, we're finding a way, guys. We're gonna actually have it in person. We have the camera. I'm gonna bring
I got the camera.
I'm gonna try to bring a MacBook.
I can bring my MacBook.
You have a decent MacBook, so all we need is semi decent internet.
Yeah.
And we'll be good. If I have to, I'll set up my phone,
MacBook?
Bro. I'll just set up my phone and go and push out a 2K bit rate and just go live on the phone and do it. We're definitely though gonna at least record it. At least, no matter what, we at least record something, and maybe Thursday night, or Friday night, I'll edit it or something like that. I don't know, or we'll just push out a really raw unedited kind of like tonight, something like that. No matter what.
Yeah, no, my camera let me send it to any device too. So if you need it to be sent to a phone, so.
I was gonna say somebody asked about the tickets again. Again, if you are planning to go to Las Vegas, pay your own flight over there, your own motel, and then your own way back. Contact them in the NACT Discord. The moderators
share the
over
link.
there. Yeah, contact them if you're trying to get over there. They already said there's so much going on. There's going to be a big Dave. Assassin Dave said there's gonna be we're tight like that. I call him David.
We already got nicknames, huh?
David. David.
Yeah, but that's what
we're
that's
all gonna call. Hey, we should all call him David when we get there.
What's up, David?
Hey, yo, David.
I was gonna say, so yeah, they just contact them over there. But Dave has said that there's going to be a lot of things to do beforehand. They got goodie bags and everything, and then you guys get to see that you get to see them play live and scream your hearts out. Or well, I was seeing it like, should they have like you know how in the MPLs you see them all putting their little signs on their phones and stuff like that to show to the camera.
I really hope the production is similar to MPL. Like there's some crowd cam if we have a crowd, which it seems like even if we have like 30 people, they can find a good angle. Like I hope that you made a great I hope that the stream doesn't just go by super fast. I hope the teams get breaks in between and maybe we have some player cams. Like I'm really hoping that they outdo themselves for their production. But we'll see.
Same.
We'll see.
Yeah, so it's gonna be good. It's great things, guys. I mean, hopefully, let your friends know if you guys are interested in it. It's only been getting bigger now because a lot of people are getting more and more involved in it. And from like what we've been promised or what we've been hearing from the back is that it's going to continue even past M4. There's big things coming from North America, and it's thanks to in part like Trex for hosting. Trex and Aiko for like kind of carrying that way at the beginning of the year, and then what's it called? Now you guys, the fans, kind of making it even bigger, especially some of the events that have been hosted on this channel. Was that last finals for NASL was like what 20K viewers?
20K live viewers.
Which has not been matched. Which has not been matched. It hasn't.
We hold the record
in North America, even by the normal channels. So yeah, I mean that's
I don't even think
crazy.
I've seen Zane at 20K.
Yeah, I don't know how we did that. I don't know. I think we had some really good build up and then like the NACT just ended and like I think we just had I don't know what did it, how we did those numbers, but we were also pushing a lot of steady content that month and everything. So. Yeah, that was
I am
hype.
doing vlogging in Vegas, so
yeah. We're gonna be doing a ton of content, guys. Like Vegas is. I want to do I have an idea to do like an interview of every person. Do like every single content creator and every single character, and I mean and every single player and stuff. I'm gonna try to do like a quick 2 questions. Be like da 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 da.
It's a legit BTK jersey.
What's on the back? What's the name on the back?
It says my name.
Oh, I was about to say, I wish I would have said like Mocha Zane, just be like, bro, like I just went into his bedroom, stole that.
BTK Victor in the chat.
Fraudulent fabric.
Fraudulent fabric. That's actually the company name, yo. It's called Fraudulent Fabric. He said, "How'd you get that jersey?"
The company name right there, bro. It's right there, bro. It's the same as your jersey. It's the same.
Victor's like, I don't even know they sell in our jerseys.
It's the same as your jersey.
Victor, you gonna be in Vegas, bro? We gonna see you in Vegas? You gonna come support? I hope so. I hope we see a bunch of people. I'm hype. I'm super pumped.
Yeah.
Same.
It's gonna be amazing too. He said pros. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you everybody, guys. It's been a awesome night. Definitely possibility we'll continue to do this live depending on how this goes. Thank you everyone who showed up tonight.
He said, "Hell
the people who
nah."
have been supporting the podcast over the past 2 or 3 months. We're definitely gonna have some more guests coming. We have a lot of plans in sight. Like I said, like I've been telling the community, the past month's just been really crazy with NACT. So we haven't, like, it was tough just to get all three of us together and not be dog tired, you know. So thank you guys so much. Then also after the NACT, we have like 2 months till I'm 4, so definitely planning on a lot of content coming. If you guys haven't, quick word from our sponsors. We don't have any sponsors, so make sure you check out each of our links in the description. Private Dancer streams on Twitch and YouTube, but his Twitch thing is in the description. G the Aco streams on YouTube and Facebook. You can check his, I think it's just your YouTube link though down in the description.
Yeah.
And then my link tree is down in the description. I don't really stream that much. I have been a bit more recently, but honestly, follow the Insta, follow the Twitter. Those are 2 platforms I'm trying to grow on right now. So thank you guys so much. And if we don't see you on here, we will see you guys in Vegas.